Hi, welcome back to my channel. And today, I think this is a sixth or maybe seventh video about the Quiet Afternoon series. And not getting further ado, I will read about The Grapes of Wrath by Boyd Cabell. I will read from chapter 6, Taking Punishment, maybe 1 or 2 pages. Okay. C. Company of stone walls progressed slowly for some distance up the communication trench, with the whistling of bullets growing faster the nearer they approached to the firing line. This trench, too, had been badly damaged previously to attack by British artillery, and the cover it afforded to the crawling line of men was frequently scanty, and at times was almost nil. There were 1 or 2 casualties from the changed bullets, as men crawled over the debris of wrecked portion of the trench, but the line at last reached what had been one of the German support trenches and spread along it without serious loss. This trench had been reversed by our engineers, that is to say, the sandbags and the parapet on what had been its face, looking forward the British line, had been pulled down and repiled on the new front of the trench, which now looked toward the ground still held by the Germans. The trench was only some 300 or 400 yards behind what was here the most advanced British line. The line from which some of our regiments were attacking and in which they were being attacked. Practically speaking, therefore, the Stonewalls knew their position was well up on the outer fringe of the infantry front, and through its swirled constantly eddies from the firing line in the shape of wounded men and stretched bearers, and trickling but constantly running streams of feeders to the fighting ammunition carriers, staggering under the weight of ammunition boxes and consignments of bombs and grenades. Regimental stretches bearers returning from fresh load, ration parties carrying carrying parties carrying ration parties carrying up food and water. Ca- ration parties carrying up food and water. There were still communication trenches leading from the Stonewalls position to the firing line, but because had been and still were made a regular target by German guns, and had been smashed and broken in beyond all real semblance, all cover of protection, and brought their users almost with certainty under the bursting shrapnels. What bursting shrapnels or high explosive with which the trench was plastered, most of men going up or coming back from the forward trench, and especially if they were laden with any burden, preferred to take their chance and make the quicker and straighter passage of the open ground. Wow. Prefer to take their change and make the quicker and straighter passage over the open ground. The daylight was beginning to fade by now, the earlier because dark cloud had been massing and thin misty drizzle of rain had begun to fall. But although it was dusk, there was no lack of light in the fighting zone. From both the opposing trenches, soaring lights hisses upward with trailing stream of sparks, curved over, burst into vivid balls of brilliant light, and flowed slowly and slidingly downwards to the ground. Okay, I think that's the last line of this part of the book. Well, honestly, this book is really hard to explain. I think it's because that's what I really said. What I said before, the pace, the situation about the war, especially in the old days, the pronouncing, and of course the vocabulary is really hard to digest or maybe to understand, but that's really why I need to find everything that I don't know about that part of words. So that's why I need to rewrite again to understand what it means. And basically that's really a good point to make sure my level of understanding about English language is getting up and up again. Well, Grapes of Words really good, but still I need to understand really well. Imagination of the author is really in a high level, in a high level to understand, but also have a lot of quite extraordinary to entering their world to be seen, right? Yeah, to be seen. So I think that's enough, and thank you for watching. I apologize what I really did say before and everything that I said in this video. So thank you for that. Thank you for watching, and bye.